Hello and welcome to HughesRound. Me, Graham Hughes. It is Tuesday the 20th of April 2021 and I'm back here aging in real time as the country gets sucked further into the mire of Brexit reality. But no one seems to want to talk about Brexit today, except maybe me and Phil and Max. But most people don't want to talk about Brexit today because everyone's obsessing over this new Super League that's getting set up. I started talking about this yesterday and I got shot down in flames very quickly by people going, boring, whatever, Graham, we don't care. But I noticed John Barleycorn has said a great image on the BBC homepage earlier, read the sports ball story. Two guys with a banner that said, created by the poor, stolen by the rich. That's a statement that really sums this country up, yes. I think it sums the world up pretty much in many ways. And don't forget, behind every great fortune, there is a great crime, which is possibly one of the themes of toxic nostalgia. I mean, all the crimes that have been committed in the past. Oh my God, they are legion. So the good news is, I think that I have sorted stereo out. I needed to unplug the cables out of my phone, switch them around, and plug them back in again. Yeah. It took too long to suss out. Anyway, so it seems to be working. I can hear the stereo thing through my headphones, but I don't know if the sound is loud enough or if it's clear enough. So if you want to experiment, feel free to get me on stereo. And I see that Maximilian Robespierre has actually joined stereo. So anyone who wants to give me a call to see if the technology works, they're very welcome to. Now, yesterday at around 7 o'clock, we had a power cut here in Durham, which lasted till the wee small hours of the morning, which interrupted my workflow somewhat. And because I'm, because I'm cheap or not particularly loaded, I'm on giffgaff phone. So I had internet, but because everybody in the area was also using their mobile data and giffgaff piggyback on the O2 network, it gives preference to O2 customers over giffgaff customers. So I had no power, no internet, and it all sucked quite a bit. The reason why I'm telling you this is that I got a nice little text message this morning of Northern Power Grid, which said, sorry for the problems, we're sorting them out, we've put a temporary solution in. And I walked down the street this morning and found out what the temporary solution is. They've put a generator down at the end of the street with like barriers around it that say like noise reduction barrier or something. So effectively, at some point today, when they fix the actual thing that needs to be fixed, there's a good chance that my power will go off for 5 minutes or maybe longer. So if you're watching and I suddenly just stop, give it a few seconds. It might just be buffering, but since I bought my new output box for my laptop into the internet, I haven't had any upload problems. Touch wood. It's wood, under the desk is wood. I haven't had any upload problems, but that's not to say that I won't have any upload problems during this episode, which is going to be a bumper episode. I'm going to go on for about an hour and a half today, maybe a bit longer, but I do have to pick the kids up from school at 3 o'clock, so I will have to leave a little bit earlier than planned. But yeah, like I say, I'm mixing up the schedule this week and I'm doing it all a bit different and seeing how it goes. Who have we got on the chat? We've got hello all. We've got John. We've got Glasgow Kiss. Hello. Welcome. We've got Graham. We've got Taki. We've got Dennis Jones. We've got Nick. We've got Alexis saying good afternoon, everyone. We've got Chris Kopak saying, greetings, mere mortals. You got to say that in that kind of voice. Greetings, mere mortals. We got Darian saying, yes, money has been polluting the game for years. It's no surprise that the greedy owners want to milk it some more. Fans have the power to stop it. I don't know if you do, Darren. I don't know if you do. Because, let's face it, these clubs don't really make that much money from the stadiums. Selling out the stadium, that's like nothing for them. That's like chewing gum. Do you know what I mean? It's whatever. These clubs are worth £4 billion. £4 billion. So the big thing is the rights to show the games. That's where they make all the money. It's TV rights. They don't care about people turning up in the rain, in the hail, in the storm, and the storms, in the snow to watch their match, to watch their team lose against another team that shouldn't have won. God damn it. Come on, ref, etc. The fact is that, say, for instance, when I was in Panama, the local sports bar there, we had a local sports bar because lots of Americans had all these TV screens up, and they did a big thing for the Super Bowl every year, and they used to play different sports, everything. They would show the cricket, they'd show the wrestling, they'd show the American football, they'd show hockey, they'd show the Olympics, so all this stuff. But they wouldn't show the English Premier League because it costs too much money. And that was a little bar on the other side of the world. So have a look at all those bars put together, and the ones that decide to pay the money, they're the ones who are paying for this. And so what's going to happen is they're going to be given the option of having a game which is going to be Liverpool versus Wigan, right? Nobody cares about Wigan. Nobody on the planet probably knows where Wigan is. I don't think even the people who live in Wigan know where Wigan is. I don't think George Orwell knew where it was. He thought there was a pier there. It's inland. There's no pier. What was he talking about? Anyway, they're not going to want to watch that. They're not going to pay for that. But Liverpool versus Juventus, Liverpool versus Barcelona, Liverpool versus Real Madrid, a couple of times a year instead of once every blue moon. That's where the money's made, my friends. And look, money's polluted every sport, really, hasn't it? I mean, you look at the Olympics and the doping scandals. I don't know if that's to prestige or money, but then you look at boxing and how money's corrupted that as turning it into a game that should be played, sports competition, I guess, that should be based on how many punches you get in, wearing padded gloves and with padding around your head so you don't get freaking brain damage. They've turned it into basically a sport where the goal is to damage the brain of your opponent enough to knock them out. Yeah, not good. So yeah, money's polluted everything for a very long time, and it will continue to do so. I don't think there's anything the fans can do about this, and as an Everton fan, I'm thinking, well, okay, chuck them out, and then, we won the Premiership a couple of years ago. Yes! Jim Bob Robob says, hey, Greg Ray. We've got most clubs are less than 100 years old. Our ECEU membership was 50 years old. Everton Football Club are 143 years old. So, good afternoon, Graham, says Dennis. We've got football is boring. We should talk about politics instead, says Chris. Oh my God, you're probably the first and probably the last person to ever say that. But yes, you are right. Politics is a lot less boring than football, and politics is boring. Oh my God. No, I think if you watch a game where you've got no skin in it, you've got no team that you support, you don't care which team wins, then it's a little bit harder to get into. However, the thrill of winning something or the fear of being relegated is brilliant. I mean, even if you're watching a team that you're not particularly interested in, if it's the last game of the season and everything's I'm riding on this game, it can lift it a lot. And I've not been to an American football match. I've been to an AFL game. I've been to a couple of AFL games, actually, in Victoria, in Melbourne, in Australia. And, I don't have a clue what was going on. I thought there was being a pitch invasion. There was like 28 people on the pitch. I was like, yay, let's go and wreck stuff and swing from the goalposts. And they're like, no, you can't. This is what they do. Oh, okay. One of the good things about AFL is they have the same sweeps that they have in other things. What is it called? Is it sweeps? Something like that. Draft. It's called the draft. Sorry, the draft. And what it is at the end of each season, the best players who go on the market, the lower down clubs get dibs first on them. So it creates a good dynamic between the teams. So it's not just the same freaking team winning the league every time. Or in our case, the same 6 teams winning the league every time. It used to be 5, but since last year it was 6. Hello, it's Graham, says Peckle and Toy. Chubbai says, I went to the barbers. I asked what cut would make me more attractive, and they suggested a power cut. I honestly had nightmares. If anyone's been on the Discord server after the show, I might have mentioned that I'm currently trying to recover data from one of the discs that I took around the world with me on the Odyssey expedition, because it's knackered, and you put it into your computer and it says, oh, this disc needs formatting, and I'm like, no, don't format it, you crazy fool, it's full of information and pictures and videos and stuff from my journey. So I've been recovering it, and because I've only got 4 gig on my desktop PC, it's very slow. It's taken 3 weeks to actually process, and it only had 3 days left to go, and then boom, power cut last night, and I was like, happily I boosted it back up this morning, and it has remembered the first the first 300 odd hours of whatever it was doing in this deep search on the hard drive. So just 3 days left to go, and we'll see what could be salvaged from this disc. Okay, Graham, there is more sleaze to go with the other sleaze. By the way, hello. Yes, Duke, it's all about the sleaze. But I love the Tory hypocrisy. I love the hypocrisy that is going on right now. By love, I mean hate, but you know what I mean. It's satisfying to see these horrible little gobshites like Boris Johnson saying, we've got to do everything in our power to stop this nonsense. And you're like, but it's capitalism. It's what you love. It's what about the shareholders? Just won't somebody think of the shareholders? Do you know what I mean? Bit like that. Anyway, why can't the big clubs give free tickets? Sound like pure greed. They could give free tickets, but also they could have bigger stadiums. In AFL, you turn up on the day and you can buy a ticket. You can buy family tickets. They have reduced tickets for kids. Obviously, I know they do that for footy matches in the UK, but they don't really want to sell that many kids tickets because you don't get as much money as you do for the same seat. And yeah, the amount that season tickets cost, especially if you follow one of the big 6 teams, is outrageous. It's a huge chunk of someone's income, and considering half the population of this country are under 20 grand a year, just come on. But yeah, I don't think football has been the sport of the poor for a long time. Not since we were banned from watching it on TV until after the event. So we have to play this stupid game on Saturdays where we can't go on the internet. We have to walk around with our fingers in our ears going la 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 la, lest someone does the result. If you start typing in like Everton into Google, it'll come up with the results before you even finish typing the word Everton. It'll give you the result of the most recent game. So you got to sort of walk around until match of the day comes on and hope that your match will be the match of the day. If it isn't, well, who knows what happened. But I think at that point in the 90s, when football became, it could have gone another way. It could have been, they could show every single match on TV. It could be like Disney Plus, but for football, and you just watch the match that you want to watch. You pay £6 a month, whatever, and that's it. That's your service. But no, greed. So they want people to go out and go to the pubs and watch it all together in the pub, and I guess that's fun. I guess that's fun for a big game, but come on, if it's Norwich City playing Wigan, do you really want to go out and see that? We'd be happy to watch it on the telly at home, but it's raining and yeah. Yeah, good thing I'm not into football at all. F1, on the other hand, Bottas did nothing wrong, says Bayerberg. Yeah, F1, another sport that was corrupted very much by the money, by Bernie Ecclestone. Arguably made something that was priced out of priced out for normal people when they started showing every other match on pay television. It used to be on the BBC, and then it was moved to Channel 4, and now I think every other match, every other race goes on Sky, I think, at the moment, which is really frustrating. It's like, I don't want to give Rupert Murdoch any money. And another thing that's already been pointed out by people a lot smarter than me, if Rupert Murdoch had any skin in this game, if he had any money in the pot for this, his newspapers would be like explaining how great an idea it is. I guarantee it. Oliver Holt said that 2 UK clubs are having second thoughts. We shall see. I bet Man City is one because they've basically had to beg people to come to the cup game because they want to boycott. Yeah, but again, Merkel and Tory, Man City is a big name around the world. They don't care. It's a bit like, you know, you wonder why they put this kind of like pro China stuff in a lot of Hollywood movies now. They have a scene where Batman goes to China for 5 minutes for no reason in a movie where he decidedly didn't need to go to China. When they were writing the script, it could be like, oh, he hunts down this mob informer, whatever, picks him up. He didn't need to be in Hong Kong, but they put him in Hong Kong because they know that the portion of domestic that they used to get is getting smaller and smaller, while their international takings at the box office is getting bigger and bigger. And so you get movies which are obviously primed towards an international audience rather than a domestic audience. And that's why we have so many absolutely bloody, turgid, awful Adam Sandler movies, which are cruel and unkind and not funny. But some people around the world find them funny and they make shitloads of money in other countries. China is a huge place for making money out of your Hollywood movie, and so you want to keep the Chinese sweet, so it will be released in their country. If they decide that it's somehow anti-Chinese in some way, they will say, nope, that movie's not coming out here at the cinema, and then you lose potentially up to $1 billion at the box office that China would have provided otherwise. So yeah, money always comes into it, doesn't it? What is it? The root of all evil. The root of all evil. The Road to Wigan Pier is a really good book, says Chris. It is indeed. So it's 1984. Couldn't imagine that coming true, though, could you? Bayberg, just a reaction from the dude here. He's saying Bottas did nothing wrong. So a response to Bayberg. I got so pissed when the accident happened. It was so perfect for Hamilton that everyone thought it was on purpose. Bottas, no. Pretty boy George Russell wanted to blame him for his basic mistake. You don't drop your wheels on wet grass when overtaking. The guy who's behind this is already panicking. Really? I mean, the thing is, to have the Prime Minister and the future King of England both freaking out about it, was that expected? Was that not expected? But on the surface of it, if I was a major shareholder in Manchester United or Liverpool or Chelsea, and I didn't really care about the football, I just wanted more money, it seems like a win-win to me. I mean, they say, oh, well, but then we're going to stop people playing, the players won't be able to play for their country anymore. And that helps the players, really, because they feel they can say, oh, well, I can't play for the country. I would, but I can't, so I won't. You see, because just between you and me, the likelihood of getting injured in a World Cup game is not any higher than a league game. But the difference is you don't really have to do the World Cup game. So that's why you don't see many players going absolutely crazy and trying different things usually from England in a World Cup game. They're very pedestrian. They're very conservative, as we'll see, when it comes to their playing style. I mean, obviously the Brazilians are always going to be flamboyant and awesome, and the Argentinians as well. But yeah, when it comes to Britain, they don't have the same passion because they're too busy thinking in the back of their head, what if I get injured? Because if they get injured, that's it. That's your career over, mate. See you later. And don't forget, we can whinge all we like about how much these footballers get paid, but it's only for 10 years, if that. And then they're past the prime, and you farm them off to some other smaller club, and they're put out to pasture. They're not still being paid £50 million a year when they're 37 years old. Pineapple Boy, let's unload our evil mammon onto Graham. Also, enough with the football, says Pineapple Boy. Okay, let me read. Pineapple Boy, thank you so much for the super chat. £5, really appreciate it. I'm going to stop with the football in a moment. Let's just read through the comments a little bit, because I don't want people to feel like I'm not talking to them. Talk about the footballification of politics. How about the politification of football? Oh no, Pineapple Boy, you missed that opportunity. How divided the country is and how we can fix that. Well, one of the things that we can do to help heal the nation is talk about what's happening, because people in your area and people who you know and your family and your friends, a lot of them don't know what's happening with Brexit except what's being fed to them by the Murdoch, Barclay, Rothermere press, and they're scumbag liars, and they're making stuff up. So apparently, one of the problems that we're faced with shellfish in our exports is that shellfish exports from Class B waters are banned in the EU and have been for years. And the UK was one of the countries that banned it because they said, well, we don't want this mollusks eating literal human sewage. So anything coming from Class B waters, we don't want it brought into the EU. Unfortunately for the UK, the fish processing centres, the shellfish processing centres, where they put them in big tanks and effectively they just get all the crap out of their system over a period of a couple of weeks or however long it takes. Those processing centres are all in Europe, all in the EU. So we can't get our uncleaned mollusks out of this country to be cleaned in the EU, to be then returned to this country to be sold. And we can't get them into the EU to be cleaned in the EU to be sold in the EU either. So what do we do? Well, apparently the British government or the environmental agency or whatever it is have decided to reclassify certain waters as Class A. Like the EU just gotta go, all right then. You cunning bastards. We didn't think of that. What if we just reclassify? What if we just reclassify this plastic as gold and pay with that instead? Yeah, I got a bag of plastic trash. Oh, you're rich beyond your wildest dreams. There's a bit in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, isn't it, when the Golgafresians land on Earth and they start using leaves as currency, like leaves on a tree. Yeah, and then they're hit by hyperinflation for some reason. Right. Draconic Drizzt says 73 viewers on YouTube, but only 10 likes. Mash it for Graham. Smash it, smash it, tap it, hit it, poke it, hit the thumbs up, hit the like or the dislike. I don't mind, but preferably a like. People look into these things, I'm sure. Only seen one episode of it. Trying to avoid the results. I don't know what you're talking about. Must be some comedy show where they did the whole show about trying to avoid the result. John Barleycorn says, I had an uncle from Scotland who was at the England-Scotland match when they wrecked the goalposts. He arrived back to my grandmother's house with a big grin on his face and a chunk of Wembley turf. I love that there's like a side conversation going down here about Formula One. I don't know how that got started, but there you go. Even in the good old days of football, the BBC would always show the highlights of a London club before any other. Well, in the 80s, Liverpool and Everton won the league every bloody season, didn't they? Oh, great days. Bayabeg says, I would add 5 points on the Russian... I'm still talking about bloody Formula One. This is not the Formula One channel. It's not the football channel either, but obviously football's all that's in the news at the moment. If anyone hasn't already seen the clip with... what's his name? Mitchell and Webb. With David Mitchell, where he's just going, football, it's football, and then there's more football. It's only about 30 seconds long. It's well worth checking out. That's how it feels to not be a particular football fan at the moment. I like football, but... I like football, I don't know. Trying to think. I like tennis or golf or snooker. I don't have anything against it. Some people really, really enjoy it. If someone had free tickets to go and see the tennis or to go and see the footy or to go see anything and said, Graham, do you want to come? I'll go, yeah. There's not a sport that I go, oh, no, watching that. Oh. Maybe sumo wrestling. It's a bit weird, but yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. It's just there, but I'm not bothered about it on a day-to-day basis. But I'm guessing all those fans from Liverpool, Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. I mean, Tottenham. They're in a bit of a difficult spot at the moment, aren't they? They want to support their club, but also at the same time their club has well and truly betrayed them. It's a betrayal of the fans in pursuit of money. But it is funny as well, not just the hypocrisy of the Prime Minister and his cronies, but also the hypocrisy of Uefa and FIFA, actually, the worldwide governing body. I mean, FIFA are happy to have the World Cup next year in Qatar. Qatar has a terrible human rights record. I still think they put people to death for being gay. I'll have to check on that. But I know for a fact that a lot of the labour that was put into building these massive air-conditioned stadia in the desert over the last few years has been indentured labourers coming over from Pakistan and from Kerala in India and coming across with nothing, having their passports taken off them at the port and being told that they had to work their passage before they got anything. And they were being kept in these little tiny hutches in the middle of the desert with little in the way of air conditioning or anything like that. From what I hear, if someone from the Qatari government wants to get on to me and say, Graham, that's not quite right. But the conditions that I saw in the news report that I watched a few years ago, it looked pretty grim. The living conditions. And these stadiums have been built for a World Cup. A World Cup that literally, I don't think a single person, how many people are watching this? 78? I don't think a single one of us can afford to go to Qatar to watch one of those matches. I just don't think we can. Qatar's a very expensive country and it's expensive to get to as well. Darren, not Darian. We've got a Darian and we've got a Darren. It's very confusing. It's a bit like having a Damon, like a Damon Albarn, and a Damien, like a Damien Hirst, running around at the same time, causing trouble. Anyway, Darren Christian says, yesterday's Kia's running with the landlord. Although the landlord was wrong about the pandemic, he was right about Kia not holding the Tories to account. Yes. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, Darren. I want to say that to Starmer, but why did he have to pick bloody lockdown? Something that I actually agree that we should be having. If I was Starmer, I would have been like, listen, if we were in charge, we would have shut down the airports and we wouldn't have had to go into lockdown, like they didn't in New Zealand, where they went down to lockdown for a few weeks and then came out of it and everything went relatively back to normal. Look at New Zealand. That's what we could have done. But Starmer doesn't do that because he's got no passion. He's like, we talked about the Maybot. We've now got the Starbot. He just comes across as unfazed about everything and just, I don't know. He's lost me. He's lost me. I thought he's better than Corbyn. But that's not saying much. Do you know what I mean? Tubalard would be better than Corbyn. But someone's saying like, all this stuff about Starmer today on Twitter. And I said, yeah, but at least it was Phil and Gibraltar, actually, mate of mine. Phil and Gibraltar said, oh, yeah, Starmer, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, but at least he got rid of... At least they're not picking on Jews anymore, eh? Small wins. Red Dawn Remake, originally supposed to be China and its allies replacing the former Soviet Union, quickly rehashed the movie to make it North Korea instead to appease Beijing. There you go, Freckle Puny. Money, 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 money. But then they made the interview, didn't they? Was it the interview with Seth Rogen and James Falco, whatever his name is. And that was about North Korea, and that got into weird trouble with Sony. So I'm just trying to go through the messages. I think we're just talking about football, aren't we? Norwich City. We've got lots of Norwich City things going on here. Let's dive in. Norwich City has Timu Pukki, my countryman. It's the Pukki party every day in Norwich. That sounds good. Jim Bob Robo says, Norwich fan born and bred here. I don't watch them because they lose when I do. Haven't watched this season. They're up for promotion to the EPL. Brilliant. I'm gonna say the last few games I've been to in Everton, we've won. Like I seem to be like this magic talisman who just turns up. I think the last one I haven't been for a few years. So the last one I went was Man United. We beat Man United. We battered them, proper battered them. And I was like, I've got to go to this match every bloody week. But then obviously I don't have the money. Well, yeah, I mean, we say it's the game of the poor, but if you are poor, how the hell are you supposed to pay for the 40 quid for a ticket at least on the day if you can get a ticket, because there's so many season tickets out there. So say you haven't got a season ticket, pay for the match, okay, 40 quid, 50 quid, 60 quid, whatever it is. And then And then the week after, you got an away game and you got to travel across the country. You got to pay for your travel. It's like I keep saying, it's 140 quid now, single to London from Durham. So if you're a big fan and your team's playing back down in London, it's 140 quid to get down to London. And then you've got to find some accommodation in London, which is always really expensive. And then you got to get back. I mean, it's not. I suppose you could get back on the same day. All right, yeah, okay. Let's say you come back on the same day. So you go down, 3 o'clock kickoff, finishes around 5. You get on the train around 7, bit tanked up, and you go back home. So that's at least 140 quid. Unless you book it like way in advance. It's just, I need what you do. I mean, it'll go down to 50 quid? That's still more than a lot of people earn in a day. In a day's work. Just to travel. That doesn't include the ticket. Prince Philip got too cold. Just another shiny distraction, says Glasgow Kids. Glasgow, just not all news is a distraction. You know, some things just happen. They just happen randomly. It's not always a distraction from something else. I'm still pissed off with Boris Johnson. I haven't stopped being pissed off with Boris Johnson just because the news is covered in this for 2 days. But why don't you come on to Stereo? Give me a shout on Stereo and we'll chat about it. I don't know if anyone's been trying to get through to me on Stereo yet, but if they do, you're very welcome. I'm at Graham Hughes. I'll even type this in so it's nice and easy. If you download the Stereo app, it's available for Android, I know, and maybe Apple devices, I don't know. But essentially, it's a thing that you can call people on if you find them and they say, yep, I will talk to you. So you have to send them a notification saying, I would like to follow you. Will you follow me? And you go, yes, I will follow you. And then you can call me. So if anyone wants to do that, very welcome. My mum says, hi, Graham. Hi, Mum. I have a World Cup in a country where the temperature regularly exceeds 40 degrees, but it's not corruption. Yeah. Air-conditioned stadiums in the desert. Bayberg says, I'm a hired gun. Usually don't get any severance pay. Learnt my lesson on longer contract that I negotiate that part first. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's one of those things, if you work for yourself, you're just constantly chasing money. You're constantly asking people for money, that money that hasn't been paid yet. And the way you get treated is this idea that they're just paying you for your time. They're just paying you for your time. Oh, you want 500 quid for a day? Oh, what? That's only a day's work. No, it's not. That 500 quid is for 20 years work before you turn up for the day. So you know what the hell you're doing. It's for the expertise. It's not for you're not just getting someone off the street who's walking past to stand there for a day and do nothing. You're getting an expert who knows what they're doing, and that's why you want them. But then there's always this quibble about paying. And then there's this thing about like trying to get them into the payroll system, because I don't know why HR departments around the country are just so shit at this, or accountants departments, I guess, accountancy. They got a contractor in, they're like, oh no, we can't pay you till the end of the month. And the bigger the company that you work for, the longer it takes you to actually get paid by them. And I could mention some big names, big wealthy brands that I've worked for in the past, and they've been the worst for paying. And then I do a little job for a guy down the road, and it's 100 quid or whatever. He just goes, there you go, 100 quid, happy days. But it's as though they want you to just give up asking. I don't know. But it is looking for the next bit of money coming along. It gets really tiresome after 21 years. Oh God, I'm so old of doing it. Yes, Stereo is on Apple. Well, get me on Stereo. I'm at Graham Hughes. Someone give me a call. Let's talk about football or not football. Tell me why football's a bad thing. Tell me why football's a good thing. Tell me why this is going to happen or not going to happen. I think it's going to happen. Man, my company has 60-day terms. I hate buying stuff. That's from Nicholas. Yeah, there's company policy. We'll keep the money for as long as we can, because then we can make interest on it, I guess, and then we'll only pay it out when we really, really have to. And the thing is, it's not just the fact that it takes time for me to get paid that's annoying. It's also the time that I have to spend sending freaking emails out saying, hey, can you pay me, please? Hey, you know that work I did 8 weeks ago? Can I have the money for that, please? Imagine going into a shop and saying, right, I'll have that. and they're like, okay, that's 200 quid. And you go, listen, I'll just take it, right? And I'll go and use it. And I'll pay you in 2 months. Bye. And then just walking out. But no one sees it like that. They just go, oh, you're a sole trader. You work for yourself. You choose your own hours. And it's like, great, yeah, no holiday pay, no sick pay, no maternity pay. Let's go. I'm too shy to call Graham, even though he's heard me explain Knight Rider plots. Peculatori, if you want to call me, you're very welcome to. I've got a message. Where have I got a message? I don't know who I've got a message off here. It's off Gary. He's asking me about the island. Let's see if we can get Gary onto the island committee. Right, I'm not ringing to talk about football. Well, Chris, talk about why we shouldn't be talking about football. Tell us why we should be talking about Brexit reality instead. Let's change this. What should we change it to? Because we're not really been talking about this. I've got a news rip card as well. It just says news rip on it, which is what I put together with Lee Corn. So yeah, we could do a bit of news rip because we're talking about the news, so that sort of works. I love the way it's like news RIP, as in the news is dead because it's all owned by multi-billionaires. Ask Alex Greensill. He could help set up some supply chain finance for you. Draconic Drizzt says, Ferengi, first rule of acquisition, once you have their money, never give it back. Companies seem to apply the same concept to being on credit. That's very true. Oh, I've actually got Glasgow Kiss coming on stereo. Right, does this work? Just 1 second there. Glasgow, can you hear me? Oh no, it's coming through my bloody phone again. Oh, just kill me now. I was listening to stereo before and it was coming through my computer, and now I guess if someone calls me, it does it like this. I don't know. Did you suss out a way of? Yeah, I messaged you. Oh yeah, no, but wasn't that getting it on my PC rather than on my phone? Yeah. Oh, for God's sake. I'm just seeing while you're on if there's any way of changing. No, share profile. People are writing, what the hell? Put him on speaker. Well, he's on speaker, but I want him to come through my computer. Open talk about anything and anything. I've got the little dots there, Glasgow, but I've just got unfollow, share profile with friends. Have you got an option on your phone now to change the mic? So it goes through. Switch to external mic. Where is that? I can't find it. Under the three dots. Under the three dots. Yeah, but click the three dots. Say switch to external mic. Stream to YouTube or Twitch. Show activity. Report Graham Hughes. I should report you. You're going to report me? Oh. Oh, go on. Speak some more. I don't know if you see it. Yes, it works. It works. I did it. It's coming through. You're coming through. You're very quiet. Can anyone hear this? Let me know in the comments if you can hear John. Glasgow. Can you not hear me? Oh, kill me now. Right, there we go. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, kill me now. Oh. Hang on. It's coming through a minute later. Also, the quality of the sound isn't particularly great. Oh, I can just hear you. Yeah, I'm not liking the quality of the sound. Right, go on, speak some more. Is that you? Yeah, you're really quiet. Right, okay, well, listen, I thought I'll give it a go, Glasgow, but we're gonna have to go back to back to the original idea of getting an emulator, which is really rubbish. I thought this was going to be awesome and amazing, a game changer. Oh my God. Okay, that was painful. Let me just get rid of this. I don't know why the sound went so horrific there. But yeah. Spit me dummy out the pram. Why won't technology work? Oh yeah, Nick says on a positive, no buffering. Although I saw the word buffering there, and I almost burst into tears. I'll tell you. Can't hear him very well. Graham, you finally need to change your internet provider, BT for Virgin. No, David, you can't change it to Virgin. The Virgin don't do my area. I live in Durham. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing for you here. Roadcaster Pro can handle anything. Only 400 quid. Only 400 quid. Pay a bag. Okay. All right. Put him on a pile of books near your mic. No, I could do that, but that's not the point. I'm trying to make it so I don't have to hold my phone next to the. But apparently, what Glasgow Kiss is saying is that there's a way of getting stereo on my laptop, and if I can get it on my laptop, then that should be sound. If it works, but whether it allows me to have sound going in, sound going out on different channels, so you can hear me and I can hear whoever's speaking to me through the headphones. I mean, yeah. It's all a bit of a nightmare. Discord is another option, yeah. Actually, yeah. Let's maybe do that, because then that'll make sense for people who are sort of following me and give super chats and patrons and things. If we all just use Discord, that might work. So if you're still watching, Glasgow, let's have a think about how we do it with Discord, yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this back afterwards as well to see how much of Glasgow's words were coming out there, because I don't think it was too much. Haven't buffered for years, says Plum Duff. Oh, you lucky person. If enough people contact Virgin, they will connect your area. Really? So should I just call them up and then call them up again with a different voice? Hello, I'm not Graham Hughes. I'm Bayham Booze. We need Virgin. How about 2 cans separated by string? Yes, Ben, that is a good idea. I think we should basically go for that at the moment. So while we're all here, let's have a look at what else is going on in the news. The news of the world, the news of the day. We've got WHO, the World Health Organization, delivers COVID warning as world hits weekly case record. More than 5.2 million new COVID-19 cases were recorded last week, the most in a single week. If anyone thinks that we're on the last straight on this, we're really, really not. Apparently, Merkel must beat the pandemic to save her legacy, which is fair enough. Merkel's been in charge for so long in Germany. I can't remember when she wasn't in charge. It's been 20 years, hasn't it? It's insane. Dire warning for the planet as coal powers economic recovery. Oh, Jesus Christ. You don't really want to read a headline like that, do you? Let's have a look. I don't want this. Global carbon dioxide emissions are set to surge dangerously this year as the global economy undergoes a huge recovery. Carbon emissions for energy use are on track to spike by 1.5 billion tons in 2021 as heavy coal consumption in Asia, China in particular, outweighs rapid growth from renewable sources. Shit. I was getting a call then. But it's not working. Don't worry about calling me. It's not working. This is a dire warning. Sorry, that, by the way, that would be the second largest annual increase in energy-related emissions in history. Chris Kopak says, it's not looking good, is it? Sounds like you talk to Max about it. Oh, he's talking to Kennedy. Kevin, yeah, I've heard him say that many times. I would suggest to pop in home for a while and experience what's really happening in his country before he says that again. Sorry, what's this? I've missed a bit. Oh, God's sake. Truth is, Northern Ireland and Ireland is already unified. It's just the UK are paying for the 6 counties. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. Yes. It was a shared territory, really. And if you wanted to be Irish, you could be Irish. If you were from Northern Ireland, you want to be Irish, you could be Irish. If you wanted to be British, you could be British. And it was the only solution, I think, to that particular problem in Ireland. Glasgow Kiss says, I can set it up, no problem. Organised folk. I'm gonna change my news rip thing now. So it's gonna say, oh no, that's the wrong one. Oh, I'm so professional. There you go. Because I'm talking about the climate. So hey, we're incorporating. You know, like when you used to get like Whizzer and it incorporated chips, and it became Whizzer and chips. This is a dire warning from that the economic recovery from the COVID crisis is currently anything but sustainable for our climate. Yeah, and I was going to say, do you know what's really fueling a lot of the energy that's being used around the world right now? Cryptocurrencies. You know, people mining for Bitcoin. It's just a waste of electricity. And we're burning lots of coal. Oh, well, if you want to explain it to the grandkids. Oh, you're going outside, are you? Don't forget your radiation suit. And by the way, the reason why it's like this is because I got sucked into this whole cryptocurrency thing, and then I started obsessing over it because it's basically gambling. It's basically online gambling. It's gambling, and you worry every day whether your money's going to go up or down, depending on whether your horse comes in first or comes in last, because it's gambling. It's just another form of gambling. It's modern gambling. That's what it is. And that's why people get so into it and so passionate about it and bore you to death about it at parties. So I'm just saying, if you enjoy it, that's fine. A lot of people enjoy gambling as well, but I don't. And I don't enjoy talking about gambling, so I'm not going to. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about cryptocurrencies. They're destroying the environment and they're gambling, and I hate them. And if I had some money, which I don't, but if I did, I wouldn't spend it on cryptocurrency. I would invest in, I don't know, people like me. I would invest in people like me. I'll go out and find someone like me and say, go and make things happen, person, you, and I'll invest in that. Because that seems like a better way of spending my money, and easier explained to the grandkids. You know, where were you during the great climate catastrophe of the 2020s? Oh, I was on my computer mining for Bitcoin. Wasn't that one of the huge factors of the climate change thing? Because we needed to be using less power, and that ended up using more power than all the world's incandescent bulbs put together. Yeah, we got rid of all the incandescent bulbs. We replaced them with energy-saving light bulbs, and that was all good. But, you know, I just really love to gamble. Anyway, all shorts. Crypto is causing a world shortage of semiconductors. Again, completely useless thing to spend all our time and energy and money and resources on. I've got money. I'm going to make more money out of having money. No, make more money out of freaking working, you lazy bastards. I was going to lose so many viewers now. And then someone's going to put, when are you going to get a proper job, Graham? And I'd be like, oh yeah, good point. John Barleycorn says, gambling like buying a Yugo. Yes, G-Pan. No, like buying a Trabant. I nearly got run over by a Trabant when I was a kid over in Poland, I think. Trabant went past 100 miles an hour and then it took us out. That would have been a really embarrassing way to die. I mean, you get hit by a Ferrari, that's quite cool, but being hit by a plastic car, Jesus Christ. Bayerberg says, don't start with crypto. I could go on for days. In the gold rush, best way to make money is to sell shovels. That's very true. Let's sell some shovels. What do these people need? I don't know. Do they need coffee? Do they need coffee to stay up all night data mining? Oh no, they just leave the computer to do it. I clicked on one of those crypto ads and I'm still getting calls from all over the world. Big mistake, lesson learned. Well, you know, there you go. No one's having my 13 quid saving, says Plumduff. Plumduff, I'm totally with you. And when I get 13 quid, I'll definitely save it with you. I will support you, Graham, but all I have is my love. Oh, thanks, David. You're always so sweet. Who else have we got here? We got Andrew saying, if you have money, buy solar panels and electric cars, Tesla. Well, yeah. But Teslas are £50,000. £50,000? I don't know what I'll do with that kind of money. I'll do up the island. I'll do up Ginger Island. That's what I'll do with that kind of money. And make it solar power. Well, it was already solar power, but like solar power, rainwater collection, eco retreats. When are you getting a proper job, Graham? Says All Shorts. One day. I think Catherine said the other day, do you remember when we first got together a few years ago? And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah. And you said that you were going to get a job in January of 2018. And I was like, oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Oh dear. Gambling pretty much describes all the finance sector. It does, Darren. It does, because you can't gamble unless you've got money to gamble with. It doesn't have to be your money, of course. You can just embezzle it from the company that you're working for, but or the investors. Just take the money from the investors. Yeah, you need the money, and then you use the money to make more money, and that's how capitalism works. Instead of using money to make things that then accrue in value, but nothing accrues in value anymore apart from houses. You buy something, and then on the grounds that you've bought it and used it, it's only worth half the amount. Yay, unless it's a painting, I guess. Paintings and houses, they go up in price. Everything else. Got a leaflet today about the mayoral elections in West Yorkshire. The Reform Party UK candidate claimed that he cut his salary in half in order to cut homelessness. Far better not to have supported Brexit. Yes, Michael Puny. He cut his salary in half in order to cut homelessness. Jesus Christ, how much was he earning? Or do what the banks do and use other people's money to gamble on. Yep, exactly. Well, embezzlement. That's what banks do. It's just that they're champion embezzlers of other people's money, of other people's futures, of other people's dreams. You know, the wishing well scene in the Goonies. You can't steal this. This is other people's wishes. These are other people's dreams. That's what banks use. They use wishing well money to then fund arms and tobacco and drugs and guns and all that kind of shit. John Barleycorn says the finance sector will trade anything. Interest derivatives is trading the right to pay back a loan at a particular rate of interest. WTF. Exactly. My London leaflet has Peter Gammons standing for UKIP from Pineapple Boy. Yes, Pineapple Boy. But do you know what gammon really goes well with? Pineapple. Yeah. I love these. I love it that these gammony people who say, "Oh yeah, you can't say gammon; it's racist." And you're like, "You haven't got a clue, have you? You haven't even got the first clue." Oh, being horrible about multimillionaires who like run media corporations. That you're just picking on them because they don't look after themselves and they drink too much, and you're like, "Oh Jesus Christ." Reform Party, eventually they'll just merge with the Tories, lol. Cash Dummy says, all stock markets and crypto is bloated. It's a bubble. We know what follows big bubbles. Yes, we all remember, was it boo.com? Cash Dummy, by the way, the crypto shovel is AMD and Nvidia who are raking it in at the moment. Fun fact, I worked for a company based in the Square Mile, spread betting currency fluctuations. I lasted a month. They fired me because I wanted to adhere to FTC rules on warning against losses. That's from Bayerberg. Jesus Christ, man. Andrew says, talk about gambling. Farage is trying to start a Ponzi scheme with full ads on YouTube, asking idiots to join it. And you know what? He's never going to run out of idiots, that man. Michael says, well, I'm a butcher. Is that a proper job? Says Michael. Well, this is it, isn't it? What's a proper job? Because I don't regard working in an office as a proper job. There you go. I've said it. Working in an office, that's not a proper job. Working down a coal mine, that's a proper job. Working at sea, fishing in the storm where you might die, that's a proper job. Dynamite handler, snake handlers, crocodile handlers, that's a proper job. Shark punchers, that's a proper job. Go out and punch some sharks. There you go. And working in an office, that's not a proper job. Come on. Get back to me when you've got a proper job. Michael says, crazy stuff. Can't buy you PSU at the moment. Also, my 5-year-old GPU is now worth more than before. I don't know what your GPU is. General Processing Unit? I have no idea what that is. I I'm working from home like everyone. Oh, working, says Pineapple Boy. Yes, I'm working too. I'm working very hard. Well, I am. I mean, it's not easy talking for an hour every day. Surprisingly, I was just something like, you might think, but he makes it look so easy. But yeah, it's not quite. Graphics cards. Oh, okay, GPU. Yeah, graphics card. Okay. Andrew, I watched that stupid Nigel Farage. Is that a call? Being a millionaire? Graphics card. Okay. GPU. Graphics card. Graphics processing unit. So it's a graphics card that goes into your computer to make it play games better, really. But apparently it's also about cryptocurrencies for some reason. What about bookkeeping? Is that a proper job? Is what, keeping books? Yes, definitely, Duke Vengeance. Keeping a book in nice condition on the shelf and don't read it. Just get a book, right, that makes you look really clever, like War and Peace and shit like that. And put all books like that on your shelves, right? And then when people come around, they go, oh, they must be very intelligent. You have to read them. You just put them on your shelves. Oh, they must be very intelligent. I've read some books. Look, I do it. Look, see the books I've read. Look. Why have I got the Caribbean islands still there? That's wrong. Go away. I should have Europe because I'm doing Belarus next. Go away, Caribbean islands. Silly. When we were a lad, when I were a lad, this is Glasgow Kiss, so I'm going to do it in a Yorkshire accent. When I were a lad, we had to wake up before we went to sleep, do a proper round that was uphill both ways. Yes. Yes, indeed. I'm glad I did that in a mock Yorkshire accent then, because it did make actual sense. Carl Birchall says, I pretty much always worked in an office job, in anything from schools, NHS, charities, museums, and a water company. SimCity trained me better for jobs than school ever did. That's from Carl. Carl, yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I think I learnt more from video games and travelling than actually school, which is pretty bad, I guess. You've read all them books, haven't you? Yes, I've read them. Well, I've read this one. I've read this one out loud because there's an audio book of it. So, yeah. I'm a beekeeper, 8 hives. Is that a proper job? Yes! No, actually, no. I'm sorry, Andrew. If it was 9 hives, it would be a proper job. But it's only 8 hives. Not a proper job. As I keep saying, if you do your own dishes, not a real job. If you do your neighbour's dishes, that's a real job. If you clean your house, not a real job. You clean your neighbour's house, that's a real job. Look after your own kids, not a job. Look after your neighbour's kids, actually, that's a job. I know you're doing exactly the same thing, but it's a job. Because reasons. UBI. God, we need UBI. You sounded like that Python sketch where the uppity son becomes a coal miner. I love that one. It's Graham Chapman is playing like this Yorkshire dad who's a playwright. And his son comes in, and he's been up north. He's played by Eric Idle, and he's like, he's working down the coal mine. And his son's like, it's disgraceful. It's not real work. You don't know what it's like having to come up with copy every day and hit deadlines and yeah. Anyway, you have to be there. Draconic says, I am a dab hand at Command and Conquer and a bookkeeper who both reads and keeps financial records and hardback books. Can I be king of the world instead of Boris, please? Yes, Draconic, absolutely you can. You are much more qualified than Boris Johnson, whose only qualification is being a massive twat. Declare Ginger Island a nuclear-free, carbon-neutral UBI paradise. If the population is 0, UBI won't cost much. Very good, Pineapple Bay. I think that we should do that. Definitely go for nuclear-free, plastic-free, yeah, neutral UBI paradise. Yes, we're going to do that. All should watch the 4 Yorkshiremen sketch. Yes, we should. Some Glasgow Kiss. We've got Sugar Free saying, I was gutted what you said about the women of a certain age the other night alienating. I'm sorry, Sugar Free. I shouldn't have said that. I apologise. I was trying to make a point of saying when you take one particular segment of society and castigate them and say, well, you know, they might be wrong uns, it affects everybody in that community. but it was I palmed it off as like some kind of flippant throwaway comment, and I'm sorry, Sugar Free, I really shouldn't have said that. I'll take it back. Probably have 9+ next month when they start swarming. Do you have bees on Ginger? No, I don't have bees on Ginger Island. Well, no, occasionally you'll get like loads of bees will turn up and just hang around in a tree for a bit, and then they'll go, all right, bored of this tree, and then they'll go somewhere else. I think they're usually like looking for somewhere to sort of set up home. It's quite interesting. Got a CV where someone past experience was an internet influencer. Yeah, is that what I can? Because I don't. My internet barely works, and I don't influence anyone. So yeah, it wouldn't really work for me. Emma says in Germany, Landshut CDU will be a candidate for the elections in September. The Greens with Baerbock have a real chance of winning, though. What do you think it could mean for the UK in 2022? Well, if the Greens win, that'll be fantastic for the world, for the environment, for the fact that they'll obviously put the climate change crisis on the agenda massively, which is what we want. But I don't know. I mean, the Angela Merkel was a sort of safe pair of hands. Such an overused expression. But she was a conservative. She was a small C conservative, and she ran a conservative party. But at the same time, she did like really amazing stuff, like allowing 1 million refugees into Germany, which was phenomenal. It's but at the same time, I always feel like no politician should be in power for more than, say, 8 years, because they just run out of ideas. They just run out of vigor and willingness to sort of make things better. They just sort of, I don't know, get into the comfy shoes and don't really change very much. Generally speaking, I can't say this about all politicians, but I think I just have a general sort of bit of discomfort with someone being in power that long, whether it's Putin or Merkel or anyone really, Thatcher, for the first 11 years of my life. Michael says, well, the thing is, meat is too cheap. Red Germany is the most fight over market in food, yet at the same time, customers are most unhappy in Europe. Yeah, meat is too cheap. But I've said this before, I think there should be subsidies for the healthy food rather than making the unhealthy food more expensive. So when you've got a choice, you can buy a load of apples instead of a portion of chips, and it costs you a lot less. There was no joke in Finland. The president has once more been elected as the Kekkonen of the country. I don't get it. Sorry, Junie. I don't get it. I know the Greeks caused a financial crisis, but Merkel really twisted the screws. Yeah, GPAN 62. I mean, the idea that austerity was the best form of defense was silly. I just don't think that that's a good way of dealing with something like that. But also, the Greek government shouldn't have got the country into that problem in the first place. However, we do this a lot. We get a situation where you have a tyrannical government running a country, a bunch of absolute gobshites who kill their own people or run up massive debt or whatever they do, and then they get kicked out. And then the next administration is left with the debts and the problems that were put there by the previous administration. And I think we had this problem with debt, the Drop the Debt campaign, the Jubilee debt campaign of the 2000s. First of all, if you've got a really bad debt, it should just be dropped. That's just normal financial practice. Keeping it on to have clients or countries that can't afford to repay it is just abhorrent, and it's not good business practice either. It doesn't make you any money. It just keeps that person or that country or that company in poverty effectively, because you're not allowing them to grow. Any growth that could have been reinvested in the country is being snaffled away to pay off debts. So when a country gets a new administration after kicking out the old one that was corrupt and did terrible things, I think it's a bit unfair to saddle that new corruption with the same problems. And I think there were other ways out of the sovereign debt crisis. And if the EU had allowed there to be a single level of interest rate for lending across the Eurozone, we wouldn't be in this problem in the first place, because it wouldn't have destabilized the actual Euro. But yeah, so problems on all sides. I hope there have been lessons learned. I hope it also shows that the EU isn't completely infallible, and I don't worship the ground it walks on. It's just something that works better than the alternative, which is to follow a bunch of numpties off a cliff, off a financial, economic, social, cultural, and everything else cliff, with a big bus with a big lie written on the side of it. But yeah, good point anyway. Graham, the CDU is more centre-right party than English Tories, more akin to John Major than Margaret Thatcher. Yeah. But then you look at the situation in the Tory party at the moment, RC, and it's so far, it's unrecognisable from the Tory party from when I was a kid. Even when Thatcher was in charge, it wasn't this crazy. Talking about what you can get. True, you can get a whole chicken for around £3 here, while a sack of potato costs something like £5. Disproportionate pricing. Yeah, it's ridiculous. David says, Graham, I call. No, David, don't call today because my phone's not working. I can't get this working. I can get, like, when other people are talking on stereo and you're listening into someone else's conversation, it's coming through my computer. I'm hearing it in my ear. I'm seeing it come up on my phone capture thing, but then I try and plug this in when I'm talking to Glasgow before, and it just wasn't working. It was either it was coming out, the sound was coming out my phone, or it just sounded absolutely terrible. So a bit more research to do on that, but I'll get the sound really well, and then you'll be able to call me up. Does calling work now? Not at the moment, Cash Dummy, I'm afraid, for the same reasons that I just said. Steve Mail says, when are you, Phil, and Max getting together? Tomorrow at 7:30 on Zoom. And if you'd like to join us for that chat, I'm gonna have to go and do some interneting. Let me do some quick interneting. I won't be interneting for very long. I will stay with you. I'm not going anywhere. I just have to do a quick search for grassroots for Europe. Okay, so I'm going to be hosting the chat, and it's going to be an Ask Me Anything with Max and Phil tomorrow night at 7:30. Love it if you can come along. I will be sending out an email later today about it. There we go. Facebook events. Oh, actually, no, that's the URL for the events. Oh, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want... damn it. Where's the link? Okay, this is annoying. The title is Pro-EU Campaigning by Social Media. I can't find the link. I can't find the bloody link. Come on. I'm trying to read. Where we're in Discord. Sorry, David. Yeah, we're going to do it in Discord probably tomorrow. I'll just Discord set up, but I'm not on Discord at the moment. So, Discord. No, it's on Zoom. It's going to be on Zoom, and you need to get a ticket to watch it, but the tickets are free. You just need to change the bit where it tells you YouTube. Tickets to the event are free. What? But the Grassroots for Europe would appreciate donations. God damn it! Where's the bloody? I'm sorry, I've got to make this go full screen because I can't find the link that I need. I can give you the Facebook event. I can give you the Facebook event page. I didn't put this together. Stop looking at me like that. Grassroots for Europe. So I'm on Grassroots for Europe on Facebook, and then tomorrow at 7:30. I said I'm going. Webinar. Oh, hang on. It says link to Zoom. Zoom link to register below. Where's the Zoom link to register? Jesus. What? Event by Grassroots for Europe. Campaigning on social media, blah, blah, blah. Online. Event transparency. I'm just dying here because I can't find where the link is. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll just put up the event link and you can see you're going. Jesus Christ. I don't know why this is so difficult. Why is everything so difficult? Why can't things be nice and easy? Especially when you're doing two things at once. Do you know what? I can't find the chat now. Right, there you go. It's on their Twitter. Oh, yeah, that's the point. It was all shared on their Twitter. Okay. Right, to Twitter and beyond. Oh, no, I've got loads of notifications. No, I'm not going to read my notifications. I'm just going to search. Search Twitter for Robespierre. Okay. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Right, Robespierre. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, God, he's got so much stuff up. Got to scroll through all it. If somebody wants to let me know where the link is to the actual tickets for the event, I'll love you forever. Oh, there it is. Book your place. Ticket Taylor. Fantastic. Found it, everyone. Found it. Okay, here you go. Whew. Right. Excellent. Although that's got a WhatsApp thing at the end of it. Right, let's see if that works. Ticket Taylor. Yes, that works. Okay, so thank you for bearing with me for that half hour that I just spent trying to find things. I really need a producer. I could just say to my producer, just get in the you know, when we have a break, when we have like a what are they called, a news break or a what are those other things called, cigarette breaks, you know, like toilet break, commercial break. That's it. When we go to commercials, I can get into my phone and to my engineer and say, hello, Bob. He's called Bob for some reason. She's called Bob. Bob, yeah, could you just get me up the link to the ticket event thing for Max and Phil and me tomorrow? Yeah, cheers. Okay, cool. Just send it to my laptop. Okay, yeah, thanks. Thank you. Actually, no, don't send it to my laptop. I don't want to do anything. You just put it on the chat. Put it on the chat. Check your email, Graham. I will do. I'm going to check my email while I'm online. Glasgow Kiss has probably sent me some funny stuff. Oh, do you remember when you used to send each other like chain messages and it used to go like forward, and it had like 1 million people on it, and it would say forward this on, and it's really. Right, okay, I haven't got any emails. I haven't got any new emails. Put it on your Facebook page later. Check DMs on Discord. Everyone's sending me stuff. I've got it. It's the Ticket Taylor link. Okay, so here, look. It's on the page here. So if you click on that Ticket Taylor link, you can get a ticket to the event and it'll send you the Zoom link that you need. You can watch it on Zoom. You don't have to appear yourself. If you want to read out your question, what you do is you type in your question and then your question gets upvoted or downvoted throughout the session. And if it gets upvoted to the top, then we will ask it. We'll be giving you the opportunity to ask the question yourself. So I'll say, do you want to ask this yourself or do you want me to read it out? And you can say, I want you to read it out. And I'll go, okay, do you want me to do it in a silly voice or a normal voice? And they'll say, stop being a tick, Graham, do it in a normal voice. And I'm like, okay, and I'll read it out. Okay, all good. Can we get you onto LBC as a presenter? I'm going to send them the last 10 minutes of this show as my audition tape. It'd be brilliant. Like, what? Put me on LBC. No, I don't want to be on LBC because there's enough middle-aged white males on that show to fill a whole sausage fest on that radio station. Sorry, it is just middle-aged white man entertainment hour. Only the hour lasts all week. High-pitched squeaky voice, please. Make one of your regulars who is a patron a YouTube mod so they can post links, etc. Okay, Glasgow Kiss, are you volunteering? Glasgow Kiss is like, no, piss off. Your book's not worth that much. Okay, G-Span62 always wanted to say, hello, Max, you neck-chopping bastard. Bring back the guillotine. I remember people sending me ridiculous stuff via email like 15 years ago, and then came WhatsApp, and I had to block videos because people spam you with nonsense. They do indeed, and it's really annoying. John Barleycorn says, Aldi, the place you need if you need dinner and an arc welder. Aldi and Lidl, though, they do have way too much packaging. Like a lot of their fresh fruit and veg is packaged up in plastic, which is it's really frustrating. There's no reason for it. There's other packaging materials that they can use, and they don't, and I don't know why. Because obviously I do know why, because they get like a day extra on the shelf. They get a day longer. They put it in plastic, but why can't they use compostable plastic or something? Because you're not going to be keeping the grapes or whatever it is in that plastic punnet for that long. So make it compostable, compostable plastic. Yeah, get me on LBC. Yes, the UK will break up within 10 years, says RC. Yeah, I wouldn't bet against it. All your computer and telephone problems are really due to hacking by Putin's monkeys, lol. That's from Andrew Ray. Yes, those bloody monkeys. God, why did I teach them how to fly? That's the stupidest thing I ever did. And also program, code, Python, C++. Bastards, Java bastards. And he says, yes, I agree. A way of pretending they make losses, but the debt reinforced on developing countries was more colonial imperialism. It was. And it was disgraceful. And it meant that they couldn't grow. They couldn't grow as countries because we gave all this money to tyrannical regimes that murdered their own people. And then when finally, through the blood of thousands of people, they finally topple this horrific regime. It wasn't just in Africa, all over Asia, in South America, Latin America. Finally toppled the regime. Yay, we're free. And then it's like, oh, by the way, you owe us $50 billion. It's like, what? Why? Oh, because we lent it to the last people. Imagine moving into a new house and you're like, oh, this is nice. Oh, yeah, it's a new house. And then suddenly you get this letter through the door from the bank and it says, you owe us 50 grand. And you go, what? Hey? Why do we owe you 50 grand? Because the people who lived in the house before you borrowed 50 grand off us and we want it back. Yeah, but that wasn't us. Yeah, it was the same house though, wasn't it? I'm not following the logic here. What? Maybe you shouldn't have lent the money to tyrannical regimes for them to, I don't know, terrorize their own people. Maybe you should just take that hit and write off that debt because at the end of the day, you shouldn't have given money to tyrannical governments. Took 400 years to get the Catholic, Protestant, stroke Anglican rivalry out of our system to the extent where very few still care. Brexit could last. Well, yeah, I think it will do. Why does a cabbage need to be wrapped in plastic? It's got its own natural packaging, says John Barleycorn. Indeed, most vegetables and fruit that we buy do. Duke Vengeance. I thought the Russians had meerkats. Fucking meerkats. St. Pete. Do you know what? When I was a kid and I first saw meerkats, and it was on one of the David Attenborough shows, right? And they were standing up like this, and they were just looking around, and they bobbed down. I thought, oh, they're so cute. They're like my favourite animals. Aren't they amazing? I love meerkats. They're great. Not now. Those bloody adverts on the telly have ruined that entire species for me. In fact, I'll go so far as if someone said to me, Graham, meerkats are critically endangered, I'll probably go, good. Yeah, screw them. Because there's bloody annoying adverts along with like minions or just all the things that annoy me. Honey badgers are now my favourite animal. Honey badgers rock. St. Petersburg, troll farm monkeys. Sound like the World Bank MO, lol, indeed. Have we discussed Morrissey being pissed off with The Simpsons because he's a racist? No, we have not discussed that yet, but hang on. I was just trying to change something on my stupid thing. Right, stupid thing. There we go. Because I didn't like how low that was. I made it a bit higher. I think I made it a bit higher. That might work. Okay, so Pop goes the culture! Yay! So, at the weekend, on Sunday night, The Simpsons aired a show in which they replaced Morrissey with Quillaby. And he was basically Lisa Simpson's imaginary friend from the 1980s. And Quillaby was obviously based on Morrissey and hated everything and was miserable all the time and didn't trust anyone, blah, blah, blah. And they went to a gig to see Morrissey play. Sorry, Quillaby play. Now, this is someone who in the 80s was like really, famous for being all alternative and cool and everything. And he just turned into a big, fat, horrible, racist monster who hates everything and everyone. And people shout, he has a pastrami butty, and he's like, a burger, like a pastrami burger, and he's eating it, and people are like, but we thought you were a vegan. And he goes, no, veganism was invented by foreigners, and I hate foreigners. And like, but you're a foreigner here. No, I hate foreigners. And then he gets out like a gun and starts firing out sausages into the crowd. Honestly, it's the funniest that The Simpsons have been for a long time. And yeah, I was on the floor laughing. And one of the people who wasn't on the floor laughing was Morrissey, who got really, really upset about it. And he got his manager or his managerial team, whatever, to put out this stuff about how terrible it was that they'd taken the piss out of Morrissey. And then he sort of woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and went, and another thing! And he started having a go at the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch did the voice, which would be an honour for most people, wouldn't it? Like, most people would be quite honoured that Benedict Cumberbatch did their voice. But no, not Morrissey. He's like, oh, has he got anything better to do? Is he so hard up for cash? And I'm like, brilliant. What a brilliant takedown of an irredeemable gobshite. Morrissey, who was such a hero to my generation growing up in the 80s. The Smiths, with some of the best songs of the 80s, of that entire era, influenced a whole generation of music. And then in the last sort of 20 years or so, he's just turned into an absolute gobshite. Racist, supporting far right-wing groups, coming out with the most horrific racism, calling Chinese barely human. He compared the London Olympics to the Nuremberg rallies. I mean, the guy's just either not all there, or he never was there, and he was just very good at pretending. But yeah, The Simpsons nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. If you can check it out, I really suggest that you do. Akbar Ali in a super chat for $5. I almost said euros there. $5. Can you explain to my American ears the Super League versus Uefa for all? Okay, Akbar. So just put it really simply. There's you have club football in the UK, which is played nationally, and we have all these different tiers. So we have the Premier League, which is at the top, and then underneath you have like League One, League Two, and goes all the way down to the Vauxhall Conference or whatever it's being called these days. And then you've got the international stuff that goes on at the same time, and the big events that people get really into is the UEFA UEFA Champions League. And to get into the UEFA Champions League, you have to finish top of your top division in your country. So generally speaking, it tends to be dominated by clubs like AC Milan, Real Madrid, Barcelona. British teams like Liverpool have won it 6 times now, I think. And yeah, you play these games throughout the season, which runs from August till May, whatever, each year. You play these games throughout the season, and you don't necessarily get to play every other team, right? And so what some of the top clubs in just Britain, Italy, and Spain. No other countries are getting involved in this. So 6 clubs from Britain, 3 clubs from Spain, 3 clubs from Italy got together and said, let's sack off the UEFA Champions League. UEFA is division of FIFA, which is the worldwide governing body of football. They help make the rules of football and set all the competitions up. By the way, they set up the rules of football They have they have a seat on the, what's it called? The football board. There's like a board that decides the rules of football. So they want to make a change to the offside rule or bring in video assistant referees or whatever. They have to ask this board, and it's only got 5 members. The 5 members are the English Football Association, the Scottish Football Association, the Welsh Football Association, the Northern Irish Football Association, and FIFA. So FIFA are representing 214 countries in FIFA. Yeah, and the other 4 countries are representing 1 country put together. But FIFA has 4 votes, so FIFA can't do they can't do anything without FIFA's approval. But then FIFA can't do anything without the approval of the different football associations of the UK. Anyway, so FIFA is the worldwide setup, and then you have Uefa, which is specifically for Europe. And these clubs have said we don't want to play in the Champions League anymore. We're going to have our own league called the Super League, and we automatically get a place in it. We don't have to win our individual domestic competitions or anything leagues to get into it. Or competitions, yeah, because you can get in through winning the cup, can't you? But like, we don't need to do that. We're always going to be a member. We can't be relegated, and we're always going to play these matches. The reason they've done this is basically because they know that if they don't get into the Champions League for whatever reason, like it doesn't look like Liverpool's going to get into it next year anyway, they lose a load of revenue, and it comes down to this. So they want the revenue, and also people don't want to watch Manchester United, one of the most famous clubs in the world, playing against Accrington Stanley. No one wants to see that in Thailand. No one wants to see that in Australia. No one wants to see that in Uruguay. So that's not going to be a big money spinner for them if they do that. But if Manchester United are playing Real Madrid, yay, people are going to watch that everywhere. Everyone's going to watch that. So if they can have at least 2 matches where it's Liverpool versus Real Madrid every year, that quid's in. So they're sacking off the UEFA, the UEFA Champions League, and instead replacing it with a Super League that they can't be relegated from, so they can make more money, essentially. But it snookers everything else, because it's going to basically screw the UEFA Champions League, because it's not going to be the same standard as it was. It won't get the same amount of viewership as it did, because it doesn't have these big clubs anymore. And and then you've got clubs further down the pecking order where it's like, well, what are we fighting for? Back in the, at the moment, you're in a league, and if you get the top or the top 5 positions in that league, you get to play in Europe. Fantastic. If you're in the bottom 3, you get relegated. So there's always that danger. There's always that thing to go for. The goal, but the top of it's going to be taken away. So you're going to have domestic football, I assume, maybe without these clubs involved. I don't know. I've got lots of messages coming in thick and fast. England, Graham, says Walter. Sorry, did I say Britain? Steve Mail, or Marley, says, £5 super chat. Thank you. Says, keep it up. Still going. I've got to go in a minute. I've got to pick the kids up from school. So that I'm just explaining The Simpsons, now I'm explaining football. Oh my God, Simpsons. Pineapple Boy, at least the stream isn't buffering anymore. In a year or 2, stereo will be running. Yes, we're getting there. And we got a super chat for $38 from Hong Kong. Thank you very much, David Faulkner from Hong Kong. Still on your team, Graham. Thank you very much. What, you play for Everton? I'm joking. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And I really appreciate that, Steve, as well. That £5. Keep it up. Super chat. Guaranteed 300 million just to compete. Don't have to win a game. That's why the Yank owners want it. Says 95 Vincent. Yeah. Graham, will your talk on Zoom tomorrow be recorded to watch later? Yes, it will. It will. Nick, I'll be putting it on. I'll be putting it on the Grassroots for Europe YouTube page. There's already the one that we did with Femi and Naomi Smith from Best for Britain, Femi Olawale and Naomi Smith. And we've got one from Peter Jukes, who's the editor of Bylines, TV and Times. And Mike Galsworthy, we did one with him a few weeks ago. That's online. I've also got, I think somewhere, I I've got to put this online because we did one with Gina Miller and Will Hutton, the political writer Will Hutton and Gina Miller, and that'll be going online as well. So this will be going online, so you'll be able to watch it maybe on Thursday if you can't actually make it to the live show. But look, the tickets are free. You can give donation if you want, and please do, because that's helping me organise the Festival of, helping me and other people organise the Festival of Europe for next year, which we really, really want to do, but we need a bit of seed funding to get the essentials set up. I mean, finding a site and talking to sponsors and things like that. So, if you would chip in a little bit to that when you sign up for a ticket, I'd be really appreciative of that. The UK is not a country, it's a union of 4 countries. GB is a union of 3 countries. Mind you, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are just colonies. This is one way of putting it, Sandy. I don't know if I made a mistake there. Sorry, when I was talking about the football board, it's England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and they've each got a vote on the board. And then FIFA's got the other vote. I might have messed up a bit. Ernie Byrne says, Morrissey's early work was quite arch and obscure. It spoke of alienation and resonated with dismissed youth. His ego inflated by attention and his resentment amplified by adultation exploded. Yeah, the ego has landed. We will create the EU football championships. Yeah, maybe. But the thing is, I can see horribly, and this is my, Will Graham from Hannibal saying, I can get into the mind of these serial killers and that's how I catch them. I can get into the mind of the people who run these clubs. They're really rich. They don't care about football. It's just another commodity to them. It's just another bunch of shares in their already stacked share portfolio. And what they want more than anything in the world is not to make you happy, not to make the fans happy, not to make the footballers happy, not to make anybody happy but themselves. That's it. And what makes them happy is more money. Because for these people, it's never enough. Whatever they have, it's never enough. And they will ruin everything in their pursuit of money, money, money. But this is what we've been saying for years. But when it was things that people didn't really care about, like, I don't know, leaving the EU, or single mothers, homelessness, problems getting medical care in a country that is supposed to have one of the best medical healthcare systems in the world, not being able to get medical care because the NHS has been strangled for years, underfunded for years. Or you're looking in America where the healthcare system over there is just, it's when I say diabolical, I mean as in it's of the devil. It is of the devil. There's only someone who really, really hates humans and humanity will come up with a system like that. But I think a lot of these lizards who run the world's global finance network, portfolio, shares, venture capitalists, hedge fund managers, I think they all are lizards. And that's the one thing that David Icke got right, although he thinks that the Queen's a lizard. Okay. I can't find these videos on the Grassroots for Europe channel. Last upload a year ago. Oh, sorry, I made a new one. I made a new Grassroots for Europe channel. Sorry, I'll send the link because I think we lost. Well, I didn't. I only came into Grassroots for Europe this year, but somebody lost the password. And can't get it started again because whoever set it up isn't part of it anymore, I don't think. I don't know what went on, but apparently I had to set up a new Grassroots for Europe page. So there's actually 2 Grassroots for Europe pages at the moment. Yes, there's one with 22 subscribers and 5 videos. That's not me. And there's one with a much more shapely heart, which is it's got 30 subscribers and 6 videos, and that's me. That's me. And yeah, let's have a look. Boo boo boo! Yay! Vote to rejoin. Yeah, there you go. Although I'm getting an audio renderer problem here. Hope you can still hear me, everybody. But yeah, if you want to see the video with Femi and Naomi, I'm just going to put that into the chat now so you can watch that because I'm going in a minute. You've got 5 more minutes and then I'm heading off. Subscribed, says Nick. Good. Yeah, I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm just sort of getting that off the ground. I'm also working on the Grassroots for Europe, their new website, which is gfe.org.uk. David says, I like Nigel Farage's video in Bulgaria. His face is not comfy. I've never seen a video more fake and forced than that. Yeah, he's a bit of a horror show, his old... what's his name? Nigel. 95 Winston. Our owner owned baseball, basketball, LA Rams, and sadly my club that I support, multi-billionaire, and his wife is heir to Walmart. Yeah, Walmart, who don't pay their staff enough to live on, so the government has to step in and give them taxpayers' money. That's to basically effectively subsidize Walmart, one of the most profitable businesses in the United States, is subsidized by the United States government. And people freak out at the idea of giving a single mother like some money to feed her children. Hashtag priorities. Christian says, I played goalkeeper in the youth team when I was 9 to 10, never stopped supporting them. What, it was 9-10? That was the score. It was 9-10. That must have been an exciting match. Eddie Burns says, diving into their minds, not like deep sea diving, more like shallow puddle diving. No need for a diving bell, just a sturdy sole in your shoes. Yeah, and means to clean them afterwards. Carl says, no, because the European Broadcasting Union has nothing to do with the EU. Why do you think the likes of Israel, Azerbaijan, etc. compete in it? Yeah. David, you make me happy, not money. Well, some Riconas are welcome. Yeah, I'll give you some plata. Climate change, says Andrew Ray. Yes, climate change. I can't find these. Oh, I've read that one. Yeah, we can still compete in UEFA, what we could, but when I say UEFA, I mean the UEFA Champions League. I think there's going to be huge problems going forward for the clubs that are left behind and the clubs going forward. But we've seen this before. We saw this when Malcolm Glazer took over. Malcolm Glazer was this American. He was the owner of, like, I don't know what was it, the Tampa Bay Packers or something. He took over Manchester United around 2004, 2005. He had a stroke a year later, so he didn't do very much with it, but he gave control of it to his children, his grown children. And yeah, at the time, there was a big kick-off about it, and a few fans made a new team called FC City of Manchester. United, FC United of Manchester was the name. And yeah, they're still going and very, very low down in the leagues. But they get attendance of maybe a few thousand at the games, compared with Manchester United, which consistently gets 60,000 in a match, and then all the people who watch it around the world. It's a David and Goliath struggle in which David is the size of an ant and Goliath is the size of a giant redwood tree. I don't think they're going to stand much of a chance. I mean, the fans of Manchester United, Liverpool, Tottenham, I don't think they stand much of a chance fighting up against this. However, I don't know, maybe the fact that the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, the future king, and all these people are kicking off about it, might make them reconsider. Gary Lineker, who's a British he's an ex-footballer. He used to play for Leicester. He used to play for Everton as well, actually. He said that he thinks that it's just a negotiating move, so they'll get some kind of deal sorted out one way or the other. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's the one. GPan62. Thank you. You guys are like you're like my Google. You're like my Alexa that I don't even need to ask a question to. It just appears on my screen. I wonder how many Brexiteers and Leavers watched second part of Greta on BBC last night. covered Davos meeting part 3 next Monday. I've not watched it, mate, but I will do because obviously I think Greta Thunberg is a remarkable human being, and I love the way that she drives gammon people insane. She just makes their heads explode, and it's really funny to watch because they're devastated that a child is more erudite, intelligent, insightful, decisive, passionate, and got this amazing wherewithal than they do. I mean, that's it. You know, she's just better than them, and they know it, and it really pisses them off. Also, her message is very important and good. Neville Southall is very Labour, judging by his Twitter. He is a good keeper. Yeah. And isn't Gary Neville's dad, or wasn't Gary Neville's dad called Neville? Is that true? Someone should look that up. If it is, I love it. David says, Manchester, I still remember visiting the Kellogg's company. Greta for world president. That'd be good. Yeah, we could do with someone who represents the world rather than an individual nation. Someone who represents the world. It's supposed to be General Secretary of the United Nations. They don't really cut the mustard. If aliens came down and said, take me to your leader, who would you take them to? Who would you take them to? Greta needs all the support she can get. Yep, I agree with that. Okay, so I'm going to have to head off because I do have to pick the kids up from school in 13 minutes time, so I better race. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to throw in a super chat before I go, then you've got maybe 2 minutes to do that. But otherwise, I'm going to do what I normally do at the end of each show and give you my links and then implore you to subscribe or to support or to rejoin the EU. Or to rejoin EU. So yeah, there's my links. I just put them up. So yeah, if you would like to subscribe to my channel, if you're not watching this on YouTube, please head over to my YouTube channel. It's great. It's youtube.com/thatgingerscouser. Really easy to find. You can support me via Patreon. It's patreon.com/thatgingerscouser. We've also got Rejoin EU, which if you sign up to the newsletter later today, you'll be getting again the link that I sent just now for the discussion tomorrow with me, Maximilian Robespierre, and Phil Morehouse of A Different Bias. We're all going to be meeting up on Zoom at 7:30 tomorrow evening, and I'd love you to come along and take part. You can just watch, you can ask a question, and hopefully it should be really interesting. We should really dig into some of the topics that I think there's a lot of stuff that we agree on, the three of us, and then there's other stuff where we're slightly, I feel like we aren't quite singing from the same hymn sheet, but even though we're coming from very different angles on this, we all kind of meet in the middle. And both Phil and Max are just lovely, lovely people. So please tune in for that. That would be fantastic. Also, twitter.com/every country is my Twitter handle if you would like to follow me on Twitter. But I'm going to leave it at that. Actually, should I set up a Discord thing? So people can meet up on Discord afterwards. So if you want to check out the Discord server, I can't do it today, but probably tomorrow after the show, I will be appearing on Discord for a little bit afterwards. And that's it's basically like a bulletin board meets social media, meets Zoom, and you can have conversations and all this kind of stuff. It's pretty cool, and I'm just going to send the link as soon as I get it up. Also the link, and I can always say this link will expire in 6 hours. So if you're watching this on catch up, this link will not work. Well, it will if you're watching it in the next few hours, but. Okay, so you can use that link and get yourself some Discord. You can download it through your phone. You can get it on your laptop or on your tablet or whatever. And it's a really good way of keeping in touch. Right, I've got to rush. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you very much for all of my patrons who keep me going. And I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel for HughesRound on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Okay, I'll see you there. Oh, hang on. What do I normally say? Oh, it's that other thing. Okay, so until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.